Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And some of my subscribers have awared me that Aaron over at Alpha M has made a video about his history with that there cell tech. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. You know, and I like to give Aaron a hard time. I really do, because a lot of his stuff is ridiculous. But by that same token, I will give credit where credit is due. This is a guy who really and truly does seem to care about his health. He does promote fitness. Now, I might argue that he tries to pimp worthless supplements as if they do anything, and they don't. He might promote some really ridiculous training methods. I don't like the fact the guy doesn't do barbell squats and deadlifts and the basic exercises. I think that's absurd. I think that's bad that he doesn't teach them. I think that's harmful to people. But by that same token, you know, he has dedicated his life to fitness. He does try to be fit. He does try to be healthy. He does work out. And he's done it for a lifetime. And he probably is in better health and in better condition than 99% of guys in our age bracket. I'm not going to deny that, because he and I were in the same age group. But by that same token, I also kind of laugh at the fact that he has to put alpha in his name. And it's what people usually say. Usually the guys who have the label alpha or anything but, because he really isn't. He isn't an alpha male. And that's okay. But the funny part is that usually you see the guys who call themselves that, and he's not the only example, who try to say that, hey, I will teach you to be an alpha male. It's some guys like Eric Bugenhagen actually say you can't learn that behavior. Something like alpha male versus beta male and things like that. It is part of your basic personality. It's who you are. It's probably not something that you're going to learn. You can't teach someone how to do that. Now, could you teach someone who has those tendencies, just those personality traits from a young age? Could you teach them to be a man? Sure, of course you can. Of course you can. You can do that, but it's not the same thing. It really isn't. And you can't teach people that stuff. And I think Eric is right on that. What I was surprised about, because I was going to make jokes, I went to watch the video because I thought he was going to admit that he had used gear for years. And I was going to laugh and be like, wow, that guy's that small after that many years of gear use. Because we know the studies show they cause permanent changes. They cause permanent changes. I mean, I'm a perfect example. I'm currently not on anything. I actually came completely off my TRT. I am on my natural testosterone production right now in my 40s, and it's not actually super high at this point in the game. You know, I'm within the normal range, but it's not real high into the normal range at this point. But by that same token, I carry a lot of lean mass still in spite of that. Now, people are going to jump in and say, oh my God, Jason, you're not that big. If you guys seen my DEXA scans and you know what my fat-free mass index is, be honest here. There aren't many natural guys out there walking around with that sort of muscle mass, particularly not in their 40s through their entire body. So there can be permanent changes as a result of that. But what I thought was interesting is that he had said that he chose not to do it, and he chose to go do the natural bodybuilding thing. I really wish he wouldn't promote bodybuilding in general, though, because the problem you have is that bodybuilding usually is about drugs. Most bodybuilders abuse drugs, and bodybuilding does tend to promote body composition that can be unhealthy. You know, just like I tell people, being fat is unhealthy, but being ultra ripped is also unhealthy. So it promotes really a poor body image. Promotes poor body image, and it can promote really unhealthy lifestyles just in general. That's part of the bodybuilding world. It really isn't fitness. But I do see now that he told his backstory why the guy pimps supplements so much. One of his first jobs as a young man was working in he called it a nutrition store, and it's like, that's not nutrition. As a guy myself who doesn't really use supplements, I'm not a believer in supplements, it's comical to me when they call that a nutrition store. Because a grocery store is a nutrition store. Now, maybe you go to a free-range cattle ranch that has a big garden outside. That might be a nutrition store, I guess, right? Food, whole food, meat, vegetables, those things, right? That's nutrition. Your grocery store is a nutrition store if you stick to the outer aisles. You don't go through those middle aisles. You stay on that whole outer ring. That's a nutrition store, right? That's a nutrition store, not a supplement company. But what I didn't like about his video, while I respected the fact that he had said, hey, you know, you guys really don't need gear. Look, I'm actually in really good shape. Particularly for my age, the guys I knew who used gear when I was younger, if they're still alive, they're not in shape. Anything else when they're older now, and I'm still in shape. I'll respect that. I will totally respect his stance there, and I'll agree he has a good point. He does have a good point. And I would say to most of you guys out there, unless you have a very good reason, you probably should stay natural. And I'm not going to get into what those reasons are, why some people would want to go on gear, but obviously for competitiveness, I mean, different sports, some sports will pretty much require them to be the best. They will require them. But for the majority of people out there, cashing in their natty card probably isn't the wisest choice. And I would agree that him telling people that is a good idea, particularly when we're going to talk about longevity. But what I don't like is that he used it as a supplement ad. That's what bothered me. Instead of saying, hey, stay natural, train, eat a good diet, what did he do? He talked about CLA, multivitamins. All right, CLA doesn't work. I don't care how much he claims. I feel like I burn more fat on it. Look at me, I'm lean, and I use it, so that must be the correlation. CLA is not linked to losing body fat or controlling appetite or speeding up metabolism in any way in any of the literature that studied it. It's a completely useless supplement for body composition, completely useless. So he's basically taken a positive video and turned it into conning people. That's ripping people off. If you're telling people to buy CLA, you are basically giving it to them from behind with no lube and no reach around, right? You're hurting people. That's harmful. That's a completely useless product, and he damn well knows it. Same thing. He says, well, multivitamin. Really, if you have good nutrition, why are you taking a multivitamin? We should be promoting eating food. Food, whole foods. And in fact, it's arguable, number one, if multivitamins even help. It's number two, it's argued if they're even safe. Leading experts still debate that in the world of nutrition research. Why do you need a multivitamin? Eat a good, whole foods-based diet. Same thing, he says, you need a protein powder. Look, I'm not going to deny that protein powders have their place for convenience, but realistically, when you're eating real food, is it really that hard to eat 200 or 300 grams of protein a day? Is it really that hard? No, it's not. In fact, it's delicious. It's delicious eating 200 or 300 grams of real protein a day from food. Why do you need this product? I'm not saying it doesn't have its uses, and I'm not saying I don't have protein powder around myself for convenience, but is it really a staple? Is it something that you actually need? You guys honestly telling me you can't hit your protein needs or exceed your protein needs without it? Do you not like food? I mean, what sort of eating disorders do the people have out there that they think they need a protein powder? Come on. Be realistic here. So I'm not necessarily against the protein powder, but I certainly don't think that it's a mainstay and it's necessary. It can be a nice convenience item to have some on hand just in case you're in a hurry, right? It can be nice to have some on hand. And I keep some on hand myself. But is it something that I think that anyone, even a serious athlete, needs every single day? Of course not. And I sure as hell wouldn't be selling CLA or multivitamins. We're getting into the area of worthless products at that point. And I dislike the fact that he went through all this trouble to say, hey, you don't need to put these external things into your body. You don't need these drugs. Be natural, be healthy. And instead of saying, hey, and just eat normal foods and train hard and get on a really good training program and eat a healthy, balanced diet. No, he goes over to, don't take these substances, take these substances. Take the substances that I legally sell instead. They'll help you. In what world are they going to help anyone? They're going to help you line your pocketbooks, Aaron. They're going to help you line your bank account. But outside of that, how are they going to help people? They'll teach people that a fool and his money shall soon part. That's a good life lesson. You're teaching them a valuable life lesson there. But that's the issue I have here. Like with anything else, when he does make a video that has a good message, and I felt this video did have a good message, what does he do? He turns it into pimping, useless, garbage snake oil. And it's hard for me to respect the man in that case. So he does something that's fairly respectable and positive, and then he turns it into a steaming pile of shit. That's a problem. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.